All right, y'all, we back with another episode of Define Your Legacy. I'm your host, Theus Elijah McBee, and today we have Darius Moose on the show. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing? Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited.
Absolutely, man. Already looking forward to the episode. So if you could, man, just introduce yourself and tell people who you are and what it is that you do.
Oh, my name is Darius Moose. Everybody just call me Moose, last name. Played basketball my whole life. Graduated college at a D2 school, Brevard College, in Transylvania County in North Carolina. Got a beautiful wife and 3 boys, man. I'm just out here trying to make sure that, the torch is passed down to them, but better,
All right, and I'm glad you said that because obviously, the title of the show is Defining Legacy, right? Obviously, it's a financial literacy pod, but the idea of legacy and passing that down is something that is extremely important. But one thing, obviously the biggest topic of today's show is going to be on real estate wholesaling. So could you tell us a little bit what it is that you do in that space?
So real estate wholesaling, what I do, I find sellers that, need to sell their house or just abandon their house and don't want to do anything with their house. And what I do, I take my contract with the seller and I find an end buyer, an investor that's willing to pay more for it. And that's pretty much, it's simple. It sounds simple, but I mean, it's a grind. That's what I tell you.
No, I bet. Yeah, we definitely tap into the actual grinding part of it. But when you mentioned you get it under contract, what exactly does that mean? Because you're not essentially buying the actual property itself, right?
No, I'm not buying the property myself. So we have a purchase and sales agreement that I send to the seller. And then once you get that, you have interest in the property, and I'm selling my, interest from that contract to the end buyer. So yeah.
Got you. So would you say then at times like you're more focused on the property or finding out the actual situation of the seller?
No, so what I've learned from doing my research and finding my mentors and stuff, it's not more about the property. It's all about the motivation. Why do you want to sell? Because if I say, hey, call you and be like, do you want to sell your property? You'll be like, sure. If you give me 200,000, I'll sell it, but you don't have to sell it. So it's the situation. Like some people are dealing with pre-foreclosures. Some people, just got another job in another state. They need to sell this house. Some people just need the money, so it's about the situation.
Yeah. So how do you find the situation in the actual sellers? Like, is it through networking? Like, how does one go about actually, finding sellers?
So you can do it a lot of ways, man. You can, if the way I started off, driving for dollars. If you don't have any money, just fill up your gas tank, drive around looking for properties that look abandoned, like tall grass, busted out windows, the roof look messed up, it looked just vacant. So that's a way. Or you can do direct mail, which is more on the expensive side. You can pull a list from PropStream. That's one of the ways I do it. And it's a lot of ways, man. But my main thing is PropStream. I pull a list, I cold call, and I do SMS blast and drive for dollars.
Okay, and I want to break down kind of each of those marketing tactics. So let's start with the first one, driving for dollars. I know you mentioned like obviously driving around looking for vacant homes, but did you ever notice like now that you're real estate wholesaling that how many vacant homes there actually are out there that like people tend to drive by without noticing?
Oh yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. I drive around, like, I hate to say it, but I'm driving and I'm trying to slow down and slowing down traffic. I got to get that house, man. So
yeah.
you're gonna have to blow the horn at me because I got to get that house. I got to get that there. So PropStream has this, driving for dollars too that you can do on the app. They finally got an app, so I use that. Before I was using Deal Machine, which is great too. So I just get the address and skip tracing. But yeah, it's a lot of vacant properties, man. Once you change your mindset and know what you're looking for, it's out there.
Yeah, and so that's just a different way of thinking. So now when someone is driving, right, if you're driving by a house that looks like no one is looking there, now you might look at it as like, man, that might be actual opportunity for me to make some money off of.
Yeah.
But so once you drive by a house, right, and you see that, all right, it's vacant, I'm assuming what's next, right? You write down the address.
Yeah, so like I said, I do Prop Stream or Deal Machine. It's an app. You can just click on it and they'll generate everything for you. They'll give you the owner's name, when they bought it, if they owe any mortgage on it and all that stuff, where they stay at now. And what I would do, I would send this into batch skip tracing. It's a lot of REI skip tracing. It's a lot of skip tracing you can do services. So I'll put it in them and they'll, I'll pay for it. They'll send it back with the numbers. And I upload them to the dialer, and I just either call or I send out a SMS blast.
Okay. So what dialer is it that you use, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I use Mojo Dollar. It's a lot of dollars out there. I tried Call Tools, but Call Tools, man, I'm the type of person, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Like Mojo is so simple to me. So I mean, like Call Tools, you can call like 10 people, but it's just me. So I'm just calling 3 people at a time. It's simple to me.
Got you. And to confirm for everyone, right? So once you find that property that looks vacant, and you use a dialer, you're not using your own personal number.
No. So started off,
Yeah.
I used free Google Voice number,
Yeah.
and I linked it to my number, and I called from my Google Voice number to the dialer, and it links up like that. So don't use your real number because you don't want nobody calling you from that real number and searching you, hunting you down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, definitely want to make that clear just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
Definitely you want to try your best to contact the seller,
Yep.
but keep your personal information personal.
Yes.
So let's say you call them or you call the number through batch skip tracing, right? And they don't pick up. Is there like a second step that you might kind of take to work around that?
So the way my boy Gaither, he helps me out a lot. Shout out to him. So he do this thing called the stalker's touch. So he did 3 dials. He calls them 3 times. At the 3rd time, leave voicemail, and then shoot them a text. So I do that, and if that don't work, and if it's a hot area, I'll send like a direct message, letter to them. And if that don't work, I might knock on the door
Yeah.
if they live in the state. So I might do that.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, have you ever had a situation where like you were talking or you saw a neighbor near that vacant home and they kind of, gave you, I guess, the 411 or just a little bit of an update on who's actually living there?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Britt Daniels, man. Talk to people. So if I see somebody that's cutting the grass next door, I'm like, hey, do you know who lives there? And once you talk to people, they'll give you the whole scoop. Yeah, Joe lives there. And, him and his wife got a divorce. Blah blah blah. They moved out of state. Nobody's living there, so they'll give you the rundown
Yeah.
if they know something.
Yeah, and so far, just to kind of cover where we're at now, all it seems relatively like little to no money down required, right? Like, I mean, you touched on the idea for dollars is,
So you can get your first deal with no money, like except like gas money or something like
Right.
that. You can get that first deal with no money. You might can get a second deal with no money, but I don't want people to think like you can do the business with no money. Like if you want consistent flow, you have to put money into it. But you can get at least 1 or 2 deals with no money, little to no money.
Right. And just again, for context for everyone, when you put, let's say, you get a property on a contract, let's say for $200,000, right? That does not mean you need $200,000. Right?
Nah. Yeah. My first property was in Texas, man. And I was staying in Florida at the time. I didn't know nothing about Texas. I'd never been to Texas a day in my life. She wanted like 175,000. I didn't have 175,000. I didn't have $75,000 in my bank. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but I got it through Facebook Marketplace, man. All night. I worked 3rd shift when I was in Florida. 9:50 to 5:50, driving 1 hour and 15 minutes each way. So it was a lot.
Go ahead.
So I finally, I got to her, talked to her through using my brother who lives in Houston. The property was in Santa Fe. So he was on FaceTime with me as I'm talking to her. Found a buyer. She wanted 180. I got it down to like I think it was 130. And I sold it to an end buyer for 142.
Okay. Now, see, I was going to ask earlier about like the motivation to get started with real estate wholesaling, but I think you saying, you working those hours and, driving 1 hour, 15 minutes kind of answers my question.
yeah, man. Now, so the backstory was I lived in North Carolina my whole life, and I just felt like trapped, man. Like I needed something new. So I moved to Florida. with my mother. Me and my wife, I was like, yeah, we got to move. So I moved to Florida, stay with my mom, and then I got my own place. But I fell back into that, trap, just going to work, not being able to see my kids like I wanted to, spend time with them. My wife, she was working too, was like passing ships. She'd get off, I'll eat dinner, and then I'll go to work.
Yeah.
So I got tired of that, man. And one night on the weekend, I came home and my wife was like, hey, you need to watch this. What was it? Breakfast Club. And they was talking about real estate, not using any money. Yeah. So I was like, man, get out of here. You can't, you need money in real estate. Like, okay, whatever. You need money. So I watched it, and the dude, Mark Phillips, what was it? Mark Whitten. Yeah. So shout out to him, man. My bad.
Yeah, it was a powerful episode. I know which one you're talking about too.
Yeah. So I watched him, man. He broke it down, and he was giving you like steps to do. So I stayed up, like, no lie, till 6 o'clock in the morning that next day, like just taking notes. And then I started calling for sale by owners, and so I just wanted the freedom to not have to go to work and be away from my family all day. So the time freedom was my reason to jump into it.
Right. And I mean, that's dope too. Like, I think the biggest myth I feel about real estate when I hear it is that you need a bunch of money to get started. Money helps, as when you deal with prop stream and batch skip tracing, but the idea of wholesaling with little to no money down is, sounds pretty ideal. But you mentioned something in your first deal though too, Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
In Texas. So were you like in a Facebook like group, or how'd you stumble on that in Texas?
Listen, man, I was just all over the place. So I would be at work, third shift. So it's nothing to do with the third shift besides work. So on my lunch break, I was on Facebook Marketplace, like looking for deals. So I'll see somebody have for sale by owners. And then what I would do, because I know it's a lot of wholesalers out there that have put their stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So I would get the address and I would go to PropStream and verify that it's the owner.
Yeah.
So once I found one of those in Texas, I just went to work, man, just asking her, why was you looking to sell? So the backstory on that one was her brother was in a bad car accident. She couldn't take care of the mortgage. So it was either get foreclosed on or sell. She really didn't want to do nothing with the house. The brother couldn't stay there by himself, so they wanted to sell.
Yeah,
they needed to sell.
But though, that brings up an interesting point about being a wholesaler. So at what point is it like, do you have to remember that you're a human being, but also remember that you want to kind of make some money out of it? Because if something like at the end of the day, motivated sellers are motivated sellers for a reason, right? Like, they're trying to get out of a tough situation. So in that scenario, what was there something that you kind of reminded yourself that, like, all right, I understand what's going on, but there's still a deal that needs to be closed.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not about everybody say it's not about the money, but you're doing it for the money. Like, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Like, you're doing it for the money, but at the end of the day, like, you're human. Like the lady, she needed money because she was putting money into it from stop and forget closed on. And the money that they were selling it for, it wasn't like going to her or her brother, it was going to the mortgage, to pay off the mortgage. So, she was like, I mean, if you can give me some money to help us out, he needs new shoes, clothes, new wheelchair. So, you think of that, like, I could have made like a easy, $25,000-$30,000 off of it.
Yeah.
But, I'm not that type of dude.
Right. You don't want to take advantage of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not in the game to take advantage of it. I'm if I can make some money off of it, even if it was 5,000,
Yeah.
But she was good with the number, and the end buyer was good with that number. So, hey.
So you said, I think if I remember correctly, it started off at 180, right? She wanted 180, and then you got her down to 130.
Yeah.
So how did that go?
So the crazy thing is, man, she wanted 180. I started talking to her. When was it? December of 2019. And I tried to talk her down. I got her down to like 170. And then she was like, my next door neighbor might want to buy it. So we stopped talking from December like 18th. And she hit me up January 21st and was like, hey, do you still want to buy the property? And I was like, sure. can my brother come out there? I said my partner, but it was my brother.
I got you.
Can my partner come out there and look at it? She was like, yeah. So my brother went out there and looked at it, had me on FaceTime. It was outdated, like, the kitchen, the bathroom, the living room, everything was outdated. So I just told her, looking what other properties were selling for as is condition. I was just like, my heart was beating, man. I was like, man, no way she gonna take this. So yeah, I was about to say 150, but I was following the flip man. He was like, if you're not embarrassed about your offer, it's not low enough.
Gotta get disrespectful.
Yeah, it's not low enough. So I was just like, I can do 125, and I muted the phone, and she didn't cuss me out. So I was like, okay, maybe. She was like, can you do 135? I was like, no, I don't think my partner's, gonna do that. I might can get him at 130. And then she was like, okay, send it over. And I'm driving and looking at my wife like, hey, we might have something.
So, all right. So when she said that, I'm sure, like you said, your heart was racing, but did you have your contracts ready to go?
Oh yeah, I had them ready. Yep. So shout out to Max Maxwell, the Wholesale Elite Facebook group. Got that, purchase and sales agreement. So as soon as I got home, and I forget where we was at. I know it was on a bridge in Tampa. As soon as I got home, and I uploaded that, sent it over, and she signed it like that. So I mean,
and you never saw it. You've never seen the property.
Except FaceTime. Yeah. Yep. I didn't fly to Texas to see it. I've never seen it in person. Never, saw the seller in person, like in person, nothing like that.
But you know what though? How is that though? Like, virtual wholesaling, the idea of like never seeing the property but still closing a deal.
Technology, man. It's technology. Technology, like, it's no way you can't make money in today's age. Like the going to work 9 to 5. Like, if you want to do that, cool. I'm not knocking that, but technology, you can make money on your couch, like not leaving your home. I didn't leave my house. I didn't do nothing. I was in the room, just making phone calls and sending technology, man. So
that's dope. But you know what though? A good thing about your story in Texas too is that you had someone, your brother, in the area. So like one thing, like I was thinking about is if someone would start to wholesale in a different state, right? Think about the people that you already know. You know what I'm saying? That's already in different states. That way you have at least one person that can really see it without, you having to ask a random stranger. But let me ask something though. What would you have done if your brother wasn't in Texas?
Good question, man. So it's a lot of wholesalers in different states. So the Wholesale Elite Facebook group, I would have went in there and be like, hey, who's in, Houston or Santa Fe area that can go to this property, and I'll pay you like $200.
But now see your brother, you know what I'm saying, that's blood. So he always gonna have your back. But would you be nervous if, because wholesalers, some of them can be, probably a little.
Yeah. I mean, yes, some can be dirty, but I like go behind your back and try to steal the deal.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I felt like I built that connection, that stuff with the seller, so they was rocking with me no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So but doing that, if you're gonna do that, then be prepared for it. Just be prepared for it, because it does happen.
Yeah, it's probably the unfortunate part of the game. But talk to me though too about numbers, because obviously in that specific deal you talked about, she wanted 180, you threw out 125. But what makes you come up with that specific number? Like, I know your brother, FaceTimed you and let you see the property, but did you like do some research and then was able to come out with number? How's that go?
Yeah, so I was running comps in Texas, and the crazy thing is, I found out like maybe 5-6 months after getting this deal done that Texas is a non-disclosure state. So the comps that I was looking at were really not the real comps. So they don't disclose what the price sold for. They give you like a range or something like that. So I was using that. So I saw one sale for like 200, 220. And I was like, okay. So I was doing the formula, ARV at the repair value times 70%, minus repairs, then minus my assignment fee is what you talk. So I was doing that, and I was like, okay, if I get it down to this 120 something, I know I can get a deal. I know somebody will buy it.
Okay.
So I was in that 120, 135 range.
Got you. So you kind of knew your numbers before, like, you FaceTimed and
Yeah.
talked to the property. Okay, so that's good. Because I think like sometimes folks probably get stuck on that part. You don't want to throw out obviously a crazy number.
Yeah.
But so you kind of had your number in mind before you saw the inside of the property. What would you have done if you saw certain things inside that you just didn't like?
That
Well,
was
yeah, if the kitchen sink was messed up, or
yeah, I mean, I would have just, took some money off of it, or um, yeah, just reducted the price.
yeah,
So instead of 130, I would have tried to get it like 115, something like that. Just try to get as low as I can. Well, not low as I can, but low enough where I know an investor can make money, I can make money, and the seller can make money, because you're trying to create a win-win-win situation for it
yeah,
all.
yeah. And you talk about the investor part of it too.
Mhm.
So we covered the seller and the motivated seller part, right?
Yeah.
But how'd you go about finding an actual buyer for the property?
Man, listen, it's crazy. I jumped on internet, shout out to the internet again, and I just typed in we buy houses in Santa Fe, Texas, and I just start calling. Like, hey, I got this property in Santa Fe, Texas, 3-bath, 2-bedroom. Would you be interested? And the first person I called, he bought it, sight unseen too.
Just like that. No, like, I mean, I'm sure he asked questions, but just
Yeah. He asked some questions. I didn't understand him at first. I called my brother Gaither. I was like, Gaither, man, what does this understand? Because he's like my mentor into this, man.
okay.
Shout out to him. I played ball with him.
Word.
He's been doing it for like longer than me. So I called him,
Yeah.
asked him questions. And my boy DJ Duncan, shout out to him. He helped me out too. So I thought he was playing at first, man. He was like, yeah, because I shot it to him at like 147, and he was like, we can do 142. And like I heart start racing again. So I'm like, man, is he serious? And he was like, yeah, I was like, okay, 3,000 earnest money, non-refundable, deposit that. He done it the next day. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, it's real.
So the 3,000, that's what he sent to you.
No, he didn't send it to me. So he sent it to the title company. Yeah, he sent it to the title company to let them know, earn his money. Like, I'm about to purchase this property. Like, he got skin in the game. So if he was to back out from the deal, I was gonna get that $3,000.
Got you. Okay, so now it's kind of a security kind of thing. All
Yeah.
right. So that was your first deal officially as a real estate wholesaler. One, congratulations. I know that was a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Congratulations
man.
either way. But so to put it in perspective, right? Whenever it was that you watched that, that Breakfast Club interview with Mark Wynn, right?
Yep.
To you closing your first real estate wholesaling deal, what was the time between those two events?
So I watched that video like early November, and I closed the deal February 12th.
Wow.
So November, January, yeah. December.
4 months, give or take.
Yeah, yep. But I had a deal like soon. I had it at I thought it was gonna be my first deal was in Florida. I was gonna make 5,000, but these sellers are something else too, man. These sellers are try to like he lied and said he didn't want to sell no more. So I'm not about to force anybody to sell the house, But come to find out, he was trying to get more money. So I learned a lot through that, and you know what I'm saying. So it had me defeated. I'm like, man, this is not for me. Blah blah blah. I stopped for like 2 or 3 weeks, and thank God I kept pushing.
Yeah, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong too, but the thing about real estate wholesaling is that it's opposite of basketball when like you're not too worried about efficiency in terms of like, all right, if I call 30 people, I want 30 deals. All it really takes sometimes is like 1 or 2 deals to kind of put you in a place where it's like, all right, yeah, we really closed a deal. We might have failed 99 times, but that one deal is like, all right,
Yeah, yeah. Like I was using a dialer, man. I would call like 400 people. No, 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 no. But that one yes got me 12,000.
Yeah. And so is that part worth it? Knowing that you had to go through so many no's, right? For that one yes.
Yes, it's definitely, worth it. So I mean, you gotta have thick skin, man. I've been cussed out, threatened, like, you know what I'm saying? So you definitely have thick skin, and don't take it personal, because at the end of the day, these people don't know you. You're calling them, they might be busy, so don't take it personal.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, too, you're basically like what, calling a stranger and asking them to give you their property for a discount.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to understand why a person would kind of, react in that type of way. I think, probably your job is to, calm down, put everything again,
Yeah, explain to them why you can't do it.
Yeah, and also too, right, providing value and giving them a reason why they should, team with you, right?
Yeah. So what I've learned doing this, man, sales, you got to, you work on that, communicate with people. Keith Everett him and Lenny has a great course, acquisition, like, that brought me, up here, to close more deals. So using that stuff. So you're not convincing the seller to go with me. So you're kind of like trying to push them away, like they say, if you chase a girl, they're not gonna,
Right.
come to you. So
So
let it come to you.
gotta play the game, man. You gotta,
Yeah. So I was like, I use taxes like, yeah, you should list it. Like, why won't you list it to get more property, more, profit for the property? Well, I don't want to fix it up. Well, if you fix it up, you do this. Well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to touch nothing. Well, if you don't want to do that, then I would need to be at this price. And, so that's how you get the discount like that.
Yeah, that's, and I think the good thing too is like the way you're talking is like, you're never in such a rush to get a property, right? It's not like, I mean, obviously you want to get properties under contract, but it's not like it's your house, right? So if you don't like the numbers, right, you're just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna keep it pushing, or wait for an eventual follow-up.
Yep. That's what it is. Yeah, and follow-up is key, man. When you first start out, I know you want to press like, look, seller, we can do this, I can do this, I can do that. Like, you're trying to convince them, but you can't force a deal. Like, I learned that the hard way. You can't force a deal. And men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. So you have to go by the numbers. If the number says it's not a deal, it's not a deal.
How do you stay organized with that, right? So like if I hit someone up on, November 1st, right, and either things don't go the way I wanted, they don't pick up the phone, whatever. Do you have like a time limit? Say, all right, I'm gonna hit them up in another week, 3 months from now, or?
Yeah, so I have a CRM, Podio. I use that, so I put stuff in there just to keep me, follow up, and I got stuff on my whiteboard over there, follow up with people. If it's a hot lead, like I'm on them, like, they ready to go, because I've done that before, man. One guy told me, no, I'm not interested in sell right now. I call him back 4 months. Yeah, I sold that property. I'm like, dude, you told me to call you back in 4 months, So
right?
You're right.
sometimes, that's how you got to learn your lessons, but it's like, damn,
Yeah. So when they say call me back in 4 months, I'm calling you back in 2 months.
Chop it in half. Chop it in half.
Yeah.
So to another marketing tactic too. I mean, we talked about, going back, the drive for dollars. And you mentioned, calling over the phone too, as well as Facebook Marketplace. But another one is a SMS blast and texting. So can you talk to me about your methods when it comes to texting for real estate wholesaling?
Yeah, man, I love texting, man. I've closed like 5 or 6 deals just straight through texting. I never spoke to the seller, like on the phone. I don't know what their voice sounds like just. So yeah, text messages is cool, man. I use Text Magic, because I'm by myself, so I try to keep my overhead real low. So Text Magic, if you start now, I think it's a good one. You pay as you go. Like, if you upload a list, it's $1,000. You pay to text blast them, and I just say, I fill it in, like, hey, my name is, and what I do, I don't use Darius. So what I say is, my name is, because I'm telling you, man, I don't know what it is, but they respond better when it's a woman's name. Like, I get a lot of more responses. So I use Holly. Holly has been killing it for me, man. Yeah. Holly has been killing it for me, man. I'm telling you. So they respond, man, and I just ask them questions, like I just say, have you updated the kitchen, the bathroom, and the roof in the last 10 years? And I just ask them the questions, and then, just depending on, you get a feel for it, like if you want to hop on the phone with them. But I just been, straight through texting.
So what happens if eventually, they either want to, call you or
Yeah, so if they want to call me, I got my text magic number linked to my a call rail number. You get 10
All right, okay.
different numbers, and call rail links to my phone. So everything goes to my cell phone. It'll ring, and then it'll let me, know what is who's calling.
Yeah, but I mean,
Before
like, I mean, if they're expecting to hear a Holly, and then
Oh yeah.
I mean,
So yeah, I had that happen a couple times. So they're like, yeah, calling for Holly. So I'll run to my wife,
ah,
say you're Holly. So you know what I'm saying.
oh
I let
man,
her know. I let her know that, or I'll say, yeah, Holly's on the other end with the client, but I'm a partner Darius. How can I help you? Something like that. So
oh, the finesse, the finesse.
yeah,
I'm not even
yeah,
good at it. If it's working, it's work. You said it earlier. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
yeah, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's a tactic for you.
Yeah.
Tell them your name Holly. All right. Hey, I'm not mad at it. So, all right. So, text magic again allows you to text multiple people at the
Yep.
same time, right?
Yep.
Again, platform that it's not your number.
No.
So, what's your original statement or script? What's the first text that you're sending out?
So I would say, like, hey, John, my name is Holly. Just want to see if you would be interested in selling your property at 123 Main Street, question mark.
Mm.
And they'll say yes. And I'm like, okay, could you tell me a little bit about the property? And I got a script that I just follow, and if they don't want to, if they ghost me on the text message, that's when I would call them. But I wouldn't mention Holly. I would just call them and then start from the top. Hey, my name is Darius, calling about your property, see if you might be interested in selling.
Yeah, because I mean, the fact that they replied too is
Yeah. So that lets me know they have some motivation.
yeah. But have you ever reached the point where you might have texted someone and they reacted negatively? I'll say.
Oh yeah, man. Somebody said, my husband is a U.S. Marshal. You're gonna be dealt with. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared. I was like, man, is she lying?
Right.
But I was like, I don't know. Can they link that number back to me? Because it's not my personal number.
Yeah.
Like, so it threw me off a little bit. But it's some crazy people to say some crazy stuff like, I hope you die, this, that, and third. That's why I say you gotta have tough skin, man.
Yeah, because I mean, I think probably what it is too is that because they're on certain lists, they probably get certain texts repeatedly. But
Oh, it's crazy, man. It's
you know,
crazy.
but I mean that's just dope in itself though that you can literally make money from a text message.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I mean text magic, like I've used it before, just in terms of like it's convenient. It doesn't take a lot of time. But so when you use batch skip tracing, right, to actually get the numbers of these sellers, it tells you right whether or not a number is mobile or landline.
Yeah, it does. It does. So, well, I'll take that from I'll do the mobile numbers like a conveyor belt I got from Max Maxwell. So I do cold calling last because I feel like that's the most time consuming. So if it's mobile, I upload all the mobiles and I send a text blast. The people that raised their hand and said yes, I take them out. The people that said no, I take them out. The people that didn't respond, I keep them in there, and then I would cold call them.
So of all of them, of all your marketing tactics, right, which one would you say has been I guess your go-to / the most successful? If I had a guess, I'm gonna say SMS blast. That's just my guess. What would you say?
Yeah, SMS and cold calling has been my go-to. But my biggest deal came from driving for dollars. So
That's a perfect segue. I thank you for that. I thank you. So it's my job now to ask, what was your biggest deal and how was it?
So my biggest deal was $14,000 of one deal, and it was a duplex. Man, I wish I could have kept it, but you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So knowing what I know now, I should have kept it. But at the time, $14,000.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, you still made 14 racks off.
Yeah, right by Christmas time, 3 kids and a wife. Hey, I'll take that.
You gotta do. Yeah, priority. You gotta do what you gotta do. So
yeah.
how'd you find it though?
So I had a house that I was wholesaling. And then across the street I was driving and I saw that house as well. And then the neighbor came out and was talking to me at the house that I was wholesaling from originally. And I was like, hey, do you know that, who owns that property? And he was like, yeah, I'll get his information. And I gave him my business card. He called me while I was at work, left his voicemail, and I called that guy and set up a walkthrough. He wanted, the house needed a lot of work, man. and it was vacant. He was an older man, just got hit by a car. He was like 80 years old, had to have hip surgery. He was like, I'm not, I can't be a landlord anymore. I can't fix toilets, fix this stuff anymore. So all I want, he wanted 20,000. I couldn't give him 20,000. So I got him down to like 13,000.
Wait, he wanted 20. Okay, you got him down to 13,000. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted 20,000. The duplex, one side was it was a 1-1, and the other side was a 2-1.
Okay.
So he wanted 20. I got him down to 13. I found an end buyer. I put it on Facebook Marketplace, pictures and all that stuff. I found an end buyer, and we closed literally in 2 weeks at 27. I sold it to them for 27.
Okay, so you made $14,000 in a 14-day span.
Yep.
But like, and that thing is too, like, to put it in perspective for people. I mean, that $14,000 again comes to you once, right? Like it's not all right, spread over 14 months. Like it's
yeah. I mean, 14. Like I was working at a job, man. I was getting paid what 15, I believe. I mean, I was stealing for Peter to pay Paul, as my mother would say. Like I had a job, but I was, I was still broke. And once I paid bills, I'm like broke.
The thing is too, it's like the length of time it would take for people to make that at their job. And you know what I'm saying? Like I know, real estate wholesaling isn't just like, all right, you sign a paper and now, I'm saying, you made that money. Like it took time to, contact, talk numbers. I know, but it's still, when if you were to put that $14,000 and really put it in terms of like an hourly rate versus, a typical average job, it really makes you think, well, like, damn.
And the crazy thing is, man, look, I had one phone call with this guy, set up a time. We broke it down right there. When I was right there, he signed the contract there. So I talked to this man on the phone for 5 minutes, talked to him at his property for maybe 15 minutes. And then it was that. So a total of 20 minutes talking to him, I got $14,000.
20-minute conversation turned into $14,000.
Yeah.
That's low-key a good YouTube title, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Low-key a good YouTube title. But so you mentioned property visits, right? So talk to me about what it is that you look for when you go on property visits.
Yeah. So the biggest thing I learned is the roof, the HVAC, and the kitchen. Those are the big ticket items. So I look for that. And then I also look, outdated stuff like, if the house, the old school 80s house looks like that, like, it looks stuff like that. So if it's outdated, carpet's messed up, just look for stuff that you can use to show them that, listen, this is the reason I can't pay you X, Y, and Z amount, because I have to fix this, and this. And it's gonna cost.
I feel like, if you give them a reason, that helps, right? You're not just throwing out numbers because, all right, I'm not paying this.
Yeah. You gotta have a reason. Yeah.
But so I feel like, that might be a tough part for beginners. If I had to guess, is like knowing that stuff, knowing about the kitchen, knowing about, just the roofing and all that. So how did you learn about that?
So my mentor Gaither, like he just schooled me on stuff, and then going through that course, like I said, Keith and Laney's course, you just pick up on stuff and watching YouTube videos, man. I was like, I got obsessed with that stuff. Like I stopped watching, like I didn't watch basketball, man. I'm a huge Lakers fan. I didn't watch no basketball. I didn't watch nothing. It was YouTube University and Facebook Marketplace for me. So, I mean, you just learn from just like watching videos and just listening to people, and you just start picking up and using their tactics. So I didn't know how much HVAC costs. I didn't know how much a roof costs to replace. I don't know. So I was just like, yeah, it looks messed up. We gonna have to fix it. They're not asking me how much, it costs, but if they did, I would just throw out a number. I don't know. Just
run. That's a perfect definition of failing forward and just, But you know what though? That shout out to you though, because that definitely took a lot of sacrifice on your end in terms of, like, you mentioned how you were watching games before, but like it was just strictly YouTube University.
Man.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. So like I said, I was working third shift, man. I would get off at 5:30 in the morning, have an hour and a half drive, hour and 15-minute drive back home. My wife would go to work, and my kids, like, man, they would wake up at 8:30. So I get home like 7 something. I sleep for like 30 minutes. They wake up at 8:30. I have to get them breakfast. I you know,
Yeah.
and I have to get them. I have 3 kids, so that at the time there was what 5, 4, and like 1.5.
Mm.
So they up energy. So they shout out to Fortnite. They was playing Fortnite and watching YouTube while Daddy was in the other room making calls.
But you know what though, that I think that in itself is also dope too, because it really shows like the hustler spirit. It's like the idea of like, all right, things got to get done. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy, and you touched on that earlier. Wholesaling, I feel like it's probably doable for people, but it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, right?
Nah, man. And I don't want people to think like, oh, I can do this no cash. Like, I mean, you can no money, but you got to sweat equity. You got to put that time and you got to put that in there. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be a grind.
So, were there's ever a time where you wanted to just like stop wholesaling / quit? Because I mean, originally, like you said, it sounds good. I can put this money without putting that much money up front. It sounds amazing. But was there ever like a roadblock that you hit?
Yeah, man. Like I said, that first deal that I had that fell through, in my mind, I signed the contract. I found a buyer, so I was gonna make 5,000. In my mind, that 5,000 was already gone. So when it didn't work out, I was crushed, man. I was like, I'm crushed. I'm like, man, dang, now I can't do this. I can't do that. So I was crushed. So I'm telling you, I was like, man, I'm not wholesaling. So I stopped. I didn't cold call or nothing for like 3 weeks. And then I was talking to my boy Gaither, I was telling him about it. And if you know him, he's the type of person that's gonna shoot you straight. It's like, so it's like, man, what you mean? Okay, that fell through. Go get another one. It's more that ain't the only house out there that's that you can wholesale. Go get another one. So talking to him and don't get attached to a deal. I learned that don't get attached until you get that check, because you never know what can happen.
Yeah, that's damn. That's real. I mean, it goes back to what I was saying before, how, it's not even always about efficiency. It's more of like, probably just doing everything you can to get that one deal closed, and then we can party. Then we can, we can celebrate. Then we can, but that's, I mean, all that, man, it's just crazy to think though, going back to again, man, the timing it all takes, like to get one deal like that. And even like, so I only asked, but did you mention where that duplex was with the 14,000 one? I know you
it was in North Carolina. I moved back from Florida to North Carolina because I was in Florida and I had closed a lot of deals virtual in North Carolina, in my hometown. So I'm like, man, I moved back home. I could make more money moving back home. So I don't advise people to do this, but after that first deal, I was like, look, I'm done working. I took that leap of faith, man. I was like, I got 12,000, 12,000. I'm done, man. I'm at this job making like $1,500 every 2 weeks. I got 12,000 in my pocket. Boom. I had some money saved up. So I took that leap of faith. We went back home to North Carolina for like, I think we stayed a week. If I had the job, I couldn't have stayed a week doing that.
Yeah.
But as I was there, I locked up 2 properties and I eventually made $19,000 in 1 month. So I took it like if I didn't leave that job, I wouldn't have had that $19,000. I couldn't have made that because
sometimes you gotta take that leap of faith. I will say you definitely did it earlier than most people would have.
Oh yeah, that's why I said I wouldn't advise it now, because I could have jumped out there and have 3 kids and a wife, and my wife was like, are you sure? You sure you're gonna do this? But I just believed in myself, man. Like when you're back against the wall, like you're gonna not be on Instagram. You're not gonna do all the distracting stuff. Like you're gonna balls to the wall and go get it.
Yeah, but so now that you've been doing it for a while now, do you still feel that same amount of pressure?
Yeah, I mean, I have to tell myself that. Yeah, like because some days I'll be like, man, I don't want a cold call. I'll do it later, and but you got to stay consistent. It's consistent, because he who markets the best wins. It's all about marketing. So doing that stuff, and I'm in the point where I'm trying to fire myself out of cold calling. I had some cold callers before, but I didn't do a good job training them. So I'm trying to put systems in place where I can fire myself and hire people, outsource it.
Yeah.
have it like an actual business. So
Mhm.
I'm still in learning this. I don't
Right.
know everything, but I know if you have hustle and determination, you can get it done though. But
Oh,
I'm
facts.
for the
Facts.
business.
And that's a cool way of looking at it too. It's like, you realize that even though you reached a certain level of success, there's still more work to be done, right? You always, want to continue learning,
Yeah,
especially with this.
yeah,
It's
yeah. And one of the reasons I ain't gonna just say I just jumped out there and left. Like one of the reasons I did stop working is the pandemic started, like coronavirus, the world shut down. So I didn't want to, I didn't know what was going on, just like everybody else. So I'm nervous. So I just stayed at home. Me and my wife, we just stayed at home with the boys, and I was just on the dollar every day, just busting it out.
going.
So
So those things, right? Prop stream, what's it called? Mojo,
yeah,
batch skip tracing, those things cost money, right? Now they're not like thousands and thousands of dollars, but they did cost money. So my question for you is the idea of spending money on things that would possibly bring you more money and
yeah.
overall investing in yourself. Was that easy for you?
I mean, yeah, you got to look at it. The way I looked at it is like it's an investment. Like I'm paying $97 for prop stream. I'm paying like $300 to get some phone number skip trace. I'm paying $200 to send out these text messages. But that amount of money could get you 10, 15, 20, $30,000. Like it's an investment. So you're investing in yourself. So
Were
that's
you
the way.
using all of these tools in the beginning before you got these deals?
No. In the beginning, before I got my deal, I was not using. I signed up for the 7-day free trial through PropStream, and I think they let you download a certain amount from the 7 days, and I done that, and I was just using all the free tools, man. I created like 10 Gmail accounts
Yeah.
to get the free, deal machine. Like,
There's a lot of people out there that done that with like Netflix and everything. Yeah, you're not the
yeah, I had like 10, and I kept using the 30 days. So if you use the max coupon, you get 30 days on the
mm,
deal machine. So I kept using that and just like driving for dollars, and even virtual driving for dollars, man. Is like I said, the internet is a great thing. Like you can make money just sitting on the couch.
hang on. So we talked about the physical driving for dollars part, but virtual driving for dollars.
Yeah,
Let's tap in real quick. Talk to me about that, please.
yeah. So the way you can do it, you go to Google Maps,
Mm,
and then the little yellow man at the bottom right, you can place him somewhere, and then you just click the button and look at the houses, and if it looks kind of beat up, I'm adding it to the to deal machine. So
mm.
deal machine will let you link it to the Google Maps, which is dope. So you can do virtual anywhere. Like I said, I was in Florida and I locked up 5 deals in North Carolina and Texas. Like you could do it.
Driving for dollars on a couch.
Yeah.
I might make that another title. So, but so too though, when you do it virtually, right, in another state,
uh,
ever a moment where like, all right, if I do call this person, how do I actually get someone else to see it? Like, do you ask them to send you pictures? Like, there's just built off trust kind of thing?
yeah. So the way I do it, if the seller can send me pictures, if they're tech savvy, they will send me pictures. But if not, then like I said, I'll reach out to another investor in that area because I like to build relationships through those Facebook groups. I'm just not in there just to like look at people. Hey, I got this deal. I got this deal. I'm looking at who's doing deals in that area, and I'm gonna hit them up if I get a deal in that area. Like, look, can you go look at this property? I give you 100, $200 to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
And
so,
again,
so
you're willing to, that's still an investment, right? You're willing to give up the 200 because you see the bigger play.
yeah, yep, the bigger picture, yep.
Yeah. I mean, you had another investment too. It wasn't even technically a money one. But the idea of you going through YouTube University instead of, being on Instagram or watching basketball, that in itself, I don't want to skip that. That's also an investment, right? That's
Yeah,
a sacrifice and a decision that you made.
yeah. Like I said, real estate opened up a lot of doors for me, man. It's not just about real estate. It opened about credit. I learned about credit, because coming from our culture, I know my mom taught me don't use credit, stay away from credit. But Yeah, credit can get you, if you got good credit, you can do a lot of stuff. You can leverage that. So
Yeah.
learn about credit. Like I tell everybody, I learned so much through YouTube that I did my 4 years in college.
Yeah.
Like,
Of course. A lot of people have. A lot of
yeah,
people have.
yeah, it's so much free game on internet. If you use it wisely, stop getting on TikTok and Instagram hours and hours. But if you use it wisely, man, it's some money to be made out there.
Yeah. And I would just say too, like as you said, use it wisely, right? Like following the right people.
Yeah.
Because there's content out there. There's free content out there. Information is no longer hidden. But two, I want to talk about, I know it's just you, but when you're going on the visits or looking at properties online, have you ever built up like a team? Like when it comes to like, having a plumber, electrician and all that, have you reached a point now where like, you just know all your numbers off rip?
No, I don't know my numbers or nothing like that. Like I'm still working on that. So what I let the end buyers worry about that, man. I try to get it down. Like you don't have to be perfect on these numbers. So don't beat yourself up trying to get the ARV correct to the T. As long as you're in that range, I let the end buyers come to me and be like, hey, the reason I can't pay your price is because I'm gonna have to spend this on amount of money on this. And then I would take their feedback and go to the seller and be like, look, the reason I can't get your price is because I'm gonna have to spend this on this.
Yeah.
So I let the buyer, basically tell me what's going on with the numbers wise.
Okay.
As you do it, you will start catching on like, this cost this amount, this cost that amount, but you don't have to be like accurate 100% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as you're kind of in that ballpark, kind of.
Yeah.
So you mentioned comps, right? So you looked those up on PropStream.
Yeah, PropStream, man, it's like the MLS, man. PropStream lets you like do a lot of stuff, man. See what's sold. You like I said, you can pull a list on there, vacant, foreclosures, pre-foreclosure list on there. So yeah, I use PropStream and Zillow. Zillow's getting a lot better, man, with their accuracy. Zillow getting better.
People were kind of I feel like Zillow is like similar like to the Robinhood of real estate. It's like, some people have mixed opinions and things like that. But the way I see it with all this is like you just got to utilize, these sources to the best of your ability and the way that you kind of use them. However it works out best for you,
Yeah. Like I said, you ain't got to be 100% accurate, as long as you're in that ballpark. That's
Yeah,
all.
exactly. So I want to say too, right? Because I like to do two things on the show. One is, ask people stories so that hopefully it relates to someone, in the audience. And two is to, provide gems, right? I just want people to learn too, to kind of actually apply this information, right? Don't just, take it in, but actually use it. So with that being said, I want to take it from the top just to kind of, again, put everything to perspective. So let's say, right, I just listened to this episode and now I want to start wholesaling, right? I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive around for dollars, right? I'm going to find vacant properties that looks like no one is living there, right? After that, what am I doing? Let's say I do that, right? And I've written down 20 properties that look messed up. The grass isn't cut. The mailbox is full. Okay. Now what?
So if you want to do it the free way, you can go to truepeoplesearch.com. And the way I do it is the reverse address. I will put that address in, and then they'll give you numbers to do it. So well, let me backtrack. So I would go on the GIS and then look up that address to see who's the owner first. If you're doing driving for dollars, if we're doing a straight freeway, no deal machine or nothing. So I would get on the GIS, and all you have to do is go to Google. You can say, like mine is Rowan County. You can do Rowan County GIS, and it'll take you to it. Put in an address, see who the owner is, take that address, put it in truepeoplesearch.com, and then find that name, and then they'll give you like 4 or 5 phone numbers, and then it'll tell you landline or wireless on that too. So you can text or cold call, and that's the free way. But if you want to spend a little money, like I said, you can go to Batch to get a skip trace, and then you can hand out them too.
Mm-hmm. And then
Google Voice, free.
How about say Google Voice too? Don't use your real number, y'all. Do not use your real number. All right. So let's say, all right, again, I texted the seller / I contact the seller, and now I've set up a property visit. Right. They're telling me that, okay, yes, you can come see my house on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I get to the property, I meet the seller. Now what?
So before you get to the property, what I would do is do your homework about the area, about the neighborhood, what houses are selling for, so be prepared to throw that offer out, where you need to be. So if you've done your formula, like I said, ARV times 70% minus rehab minus your assignment fee, then you already know what your maximum allowable offer is. The Mayo is what we call it. So you already know what that is going into it. And then if you see the property is more damaged than what you thought, you can subtract that even more.
Okay. But overall, the idea is when you throw out an offer is you want to get a property at a deep discount, right?
Yeah. You got to get it at a discount. So like I said, we're trying to create a win-win-win situation for the seller, yourself, and the buyer.
Yeah.
So you want to leave a meat on the bone, so when the buyer comes and fix it up, they make some profit too.
Exactly. That way, everyone is happy. All right. So let's say, right, I mean, the seller on that property visit, I read my numbers. I gave them an offer. Except now, again, would I give them an offer without having like a formal, again, plumber or electrician look at anything in the house, or would I just be able to just, here's this offer?
I mean, it's whatever you want to do. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer, but like I'm just speaking on my experience.
Right.
I didn't have a plumber or general contractor walk through it, but you could call up somebody and give them some money to walk it through you. But me personally, I just went through it myself and was like, dang, that roof is messed up. The HVAC looked old. I know that's gonna cost some money. I don't know how much, but I'm gonna just say, like, I'm gonna gauge it. If I had to do it, I'm gonna say 30,000 or something like that. So like I said, you ain't got to be perfect as long as you're in that ballpark.
Gotcha.
So you can hire somebody or you can just go out there yourself.
Okay, I copy. So the property is now under contract, right? I get it with the seller. What would be the next step?
Yeah, so you want to have a inspection period in there. So I do like 15 days. So the next step will be you get all the pictures, take as many pictures as you can. I join those real estate groups that you're in, and put them in there, and then put them on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, put them everywhere, and then just be ready to filter out through the tire kickers, aka other wholesalers, and the real buyers. You gotta vet your buyers just like you vet the sellers. So
So now if a buyer reaches out to me, what do I do? Do I send them the picture, or do I tell them a number that I want?
Yeah, so you'll market it. You'll market the contract. So I would say handyman special, 100,000 ARV, 190 rehab. This, just give them a brief rundown of what the property is, and you'll put pictures up, and then you'll get the email. What I do is get the email, and I'll send them, a video of the property and also more pictures of the property.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say, right, we got the seller already agreed to the number of the contract. You have the contract. Visit the property. You send the buyer the pictures, and now the buyer throws you a number that you accept. Right? So then, what happens after that? Where is the contract taking the title? What?
All right. So you have a purchase and sales agreement with the seller, and then you have an assignment agreement with the buyer. So you get that assignment agreement signed from the buyer, and then you email both contracts to a title company or an attorney, because some states are title companies, some states are attorney states. So you email it to the title company or attorney.
Okay. And how'd you find your title company or attorney? Did you use a Facebook group or?
Yeah. So Facebook groups there, a lot of people, say what's the best investor friendly title company or attorney, and a lot of people answer your question. Or you can just get on Google, title companies in your area, call and be like, hey, are y'all investor friendly? Do y'all do assignment fees? And they'll answer yes or no.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much the rundown of how someone, like I said, we started from a simple driving for dollars portion of it to now breaking it down to eventually closing on the deal.
Yeah.
So there you go, people. That's how you close on a real estate wholesaling deal, by driving around. And a text blast. Driving and texting, that's a common thing, among people. So just not at the same time, but just text. Um,
don't drive and text.
yeah, please. But yeah, so that was what I wanted to, kind of cover in terms of like the actual process. So I'll leave you with this though. This is the final question that I ask all the guests that appear on Defining Legacy. How do you want to be remembered?
Oh, that's a good question, man. How do I want to be remembered? As a family man, that's big on me. A family man, somebody that stuck to his word, somebody that risked everything so that not only my family but my other people I could put on, stuff like that. So a family man, a risk taker, um, um, a great friend, just a stand up guy, man. So like my motto is everybody eat. So if I know something, I'm gonna tell you so you can eat, and something, we can all eat together. So just a stand up guy that's want to see everybody eat.
That's a fact. I mean, it's okay. I always tell people like it's okay to pass down education.
Yeah.
Free, doesn't cost you any of your money, right? It's okay to help your friends and your family know about these things because, as we always say, this stuff is important. I mean, you talked about the whole Instagram and TikTok and watching, sports, all that. You just gotta make sure this part, your family, is kind of set. But yeah, man, I just again, man, wanted to thank you and congratulations. I want to wish you a happy belated birthday too.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
No doubt.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Stepped into the big 30.
Yes, sir, man. Blessings, man. Happy belated, man. That's definitely a milestone. And I'm definitely happy for everything that you're doing on the wholesaling side and everything like that. It's definitely something that deserves to be noted for real.
Yeah, and one more thing, man. Shout out to you, man. Everything you've been doing. I've followed you through wholesaling. We've spoken to DMs. So we've seen each other, success and stuff like that. So like I said, we not physically met, but I consider you as a friend, man. So shout out to you.
Man. And look, that's the beauty of, like we said, man, networking and all this, and going back to, I guess, virtual wholesaling and the whole technology era. Like you can network, and talk to people over the internet that can, still provide value and just be cool with. Because we also talk basketball too, right? We're just talking about
Yeah.
So I mean, just putting into perspective, like I always say, it's okay to do the other things of like, it's okay to live your life and have fun, right? But you want to make sure that you're also taking care of what needs to be taken care of. So yeah, man. I mean, is there any thing else you want to say? Any last words for the people on the episode, whether it's wholesaling related or not?
Yeah, man. If you want to get into wholesaling, like I said, I don't know everything, but I know some. If you have any questions, you can message me on Instagram. I'll try to answer your questions.
I was gonna say definitely drop all your social, your business.
Yeah. So I gotta pull it up, man. I keep changing it.
I say too, man. One day you should develop your own course. I'm not sure if you have just yet, and if you want to wait and stuff, but
yeah, I feel like right now I'm not at the position like where I want to do that, but it's in the future. I want to see myself do that. But yeah, definitely. So my Instagram is moose_523. So you can follow me there, and like I said, any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But like I said, if you want to do this, you can just commit to it, fully commit, and the sky's the limit, man. You can wholesale anything. You can wholesale land. That's a good one. Wholesale land.
We're gonna say that for another episode. But yeah, we're gonna say that for another episode. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man, for having me on.
No doubt, y'all. Again, appreciate everybody, for tapping in and on this episode. Go, obviously listen, subscribe to Define Legacy, wherever you get your podcast, follow on Instagram, all that. So yeah, appreciate you, Darius, for pulling up, man. Definitely a powerful episode. Real estate wholesaling, just like that. We gone.
Appreciate you, man.